Alright, let me get this stupid camera situated. I need to get a stand or something. Alright, so it's been a couple weeks since I made a video. I've been saying I'm gonna make videos and I've just been busy, man. I've been working a lot. Just started a new job. Technically, I did not start a new job. I started working with a new carrier doing the exact same thing. And it's kind of actually, my hands are not clean of this job that I got. Kind of had to do some stuff out of character, okay? And I want to explain. But first off, the title says, do I make $130,000 a year as a W-2 drop and hook local truck driver? And the answer is no, although I could. If everything went perfectly in trucking, which we all know it doesn't. So therefore, I don't think I'll ever make $130,000 a year doing the job I'm doing. But if the truck never broke down, if the loads never canceled, then yes, I would be making $130,000 a year. But unfortunately, that's not trucking. So, but it is possible. My checks have been, lately, they've been $2,600 a week. And then after taxes and whatnot, I'm clearing at least $2,000 a week as a W-2 employee, not a 1099. Home every single day. And I only work about, I only work about 10 hours a day. But if you, like, from the time I walk out my door to the time I walk back in my door, it's usually about 11 hours. So, I'm working roughly 60 to 66 hours a week. And like I said, I'm clearing $2,600 a week. And I want to explain to you guys, anybody that's new, how I got this job, the reality of getting a job that pays this much, that's local. A lot of people say that it doesn't exist, or you have to work the oil field. But the truth is, it does exist, and I can actually put some pay stubs up here if you guys want me to. But I'm going to give you what I've realized about getting such a high-paying job that's local like this, the truth of it, okay? So, first off, I quit doing regional, OTR, all that stuff. I just decided it wasn't worth it for me. It might be in the future, but I found a job that was local. This exact lane that I run, the lane is from Louisville, Kentucky to Chicago and back. Drop and hook on both ends. Actually, I take that back. I get loaded. It only takes me 20 minutes to get loaded in the morning, and then it's drop and hook, and then I bring it back and I drop it. I go home, and then in the morning I get it unloaded and I switch trailers. So anyway, it's easy, super easy. Now the problem is, wait, where was I going with this? Anyway, that's the lane, okay? Well, previously I was working for a company, and I'm going to do a review on this company because it was not, I really thought about it. I was like, man, I don't want to do a bad review on a company. I just don't want to do it, but I feel like it's our duty as truck drivers to let other drivers know your experience at a place if it was really bad, right? And I hate to do that, but at the same time, it's like, no, I need to help out my fellow truck driver and at least tell them my story and my experience with that company, and let them decide on their own if they want to continue to go work there. So anyway, I'm going to do that, but it turned out really bad. Towards the end there, I was struggling to make, my checks were like $900, $1,000, and that's a long story in itself, so I'm not going to get into it. But you know, when I first started working there, my checks were really good, and then I guess they started hating me. I don't know. But anyway, I wasn't making very much money. I was looking for a new job every day on Facebook, Craigslist, Indeed, Google, all that shit. And I actually found one on Facebook that wasn't advertised. I was in a group, and it was some small carriers in my town that were looking for employees. And that's kind of where this talk is going, is these kind of jobs are only going to come from small carriers, right? We're talking less than 50 trucks, less than 50 owner ops or whatever. Basically where the carrier has less than 50 people either signed on or working for them. Now there could be jobs like this that are a little bit more, but you're not going to get jobs like this with 1,000 people working there, a mega carrier or anything like that. They're not going to pay this much. But anyway, so I found this company, and apparently they were brand new. The carrier had only been open for like a year and a half, 2 years. They only had 2 trucks, and there's some issues with it. They were, all their equipment was rented, or it was a full maintenance lease from Ryder, and basically they didn't have any money. Like everything they had, they either got from a PPP loan or government funding. So I told my wife off the bat, I said, I'm going to take this job, but just know we need to save money because things could go bad pretty quick with them, because it's brokered freight, yada yada. But so the broker owns, has the lane, and then he's finding companies to do it on a regular basis. But that doesn't secure the job or the lane at all for you if a broker owns it and he's giving you the work. So anyway, long story short, things were going okay. I was making $350 a day. I was working about 6 days a week. I was bringing home $2,100 before taxes. And then I was in a day cab, and my boss was like, hey man, I'm going to put you in this sleeper. And I'm like, okay, why? And he wouldn't tell me why. He just said that he's going to use my truck for something else. And then he puts me in the sleeper, and then he asked me if I want to start pulling coils, suicide coils. And I'm like, dude, there's no headache rack on here, and I have no experience with flatbed. I have had interest in it before, but I was like, so, okay, like, why? What's wrong with what we're doing now? And he was just like, no, I just wanted to see if that's what you wanted to do. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I like what I'm doing. I want to stay here. Well, as I'm up there one morning, I see another carrier that's there for a different appointment time, and I talked to the driver, and I was like, hey man, how much are you getting paid to do this exact same thing that I'm doing? And he's like, man, I'm making $2,600 a week. And I was like, really? I was like, and you're doing this, you're going up here to Chicago, and he's like, yep, 6 days a week, the same exact thing you're doing. And I was like, well, damn. He was like, here, take my boss's number and give him a call. And I took his number, and I said, I'll think about calling him. And I get down the road, and I'm like, man, I can't just switch. I like the guy that I work for currently. When I did, I was like, man, I can't just switch for some money. I'm just not that kind of guy. Like, he hasn't done anything to me, and I just don't want to put a knife in his back like that. I'm like, he is paying $500 more a week to do the exact same thing I'm already doing. I was like, that's a lot of money. Everyone around me was telling me to do it, but I was like, man, I can't do that. I just can't do it to him. I was like, I'll save his number. If anything happens, I'll give him a call. Well, out of nowhere, we get fired. Like, the broker's literally like, we don't need you. We don't need you guys anymore. And I called my boss. I was like, yo, what's the deal? What happened to this? And he was like, well, my brother was supposed to come in on a Sunday, and he never showed up. And the following Monday, I went to my appointment, and they're like, we're not taking you guys anymore. Keep in mind, I've never been late. I was always there 6 days a week. I did it for months, 4 months. And anyway, so I was like, what the fuck, man? We lost the lane. And he's like, yeah. He was like, so I'm going to put you on these coils. And I was like, hang on a second, man. I did not agree to doing these coils. Not only that, but it's not home every day. I don't want to do it. So I call up the guy, and he was like, and I call up the new guy that I work for now. So spoiler alert, I took the job. And he was like, yeah, I was thinking you're going to call. I know who you are. I've already talked to them. The guys that work up there, they like you a lot. They say you're always here on time. He's like, how's your record? I was like, it's spotless. It's good. And he was like, all right, well, if you want to come work for me, you can start next week. And I was like, okay. I was like, is it paying? What's it paying? He was like, $2,600 a week if you want to work 6 days. If you only want to work, now the thing is, if I only want to work 5, I only get $2,000. The way he has it worked out is I get $400 a day, and if I work Saturday, I get $600. So that's where the $2,600 comes from. He pays extra because they pay him extra, and this guy's a truck driver. He doesn't drive anymore because he's got, I think like 40 people working for him or something like that. Most of them owner-operators. But anyway, and the guy tells me on the phone, he's like, yeah, you didn't know that they were going to get rid of you guys? I was like, no. He's like, dude, that guy you're working for has known that for a couple months now. And I'm like, really? He's never said anything to me whatsoever. And so anyway, I called him and I let him know. I was like, yo, man, why didn't you tell me that you were getting rid? He was like, man, I was afraid you're going to go somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, you should have just been honest with me. And I was like, so I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm going to give you a 1 week notice. I'll do whatever you want me to do for the next week, and then I'm leaving. I'm coming over here to the guy who's taking over the entire account. So the guy I work for now, he's taken over the entire account. The broker is no longer involved whatsoever. So now this job that I like, that I'm doing, has a lot of security with the guy that I work for now, and it pays a lot more. So anyway, that's why I said my hands aren't exactly clean, because I basically found out this information by talking to other drivers at the same place as me, finding out they get paid more, getting the guy's number, and then basically telling my boss that, you know, I'm going with the competition that just took your lane, basically. Now, granted, like you all heard, there was some other stuff where he could have been more honest with me. But anyway, that's how I got the job, and that's basically what I want to get at to you guys. That took a long time to get all that out, but the jobs that you hear about that are paying $2,500 to $3,000 a week, I've never heard of $3,000, but let's just say my job, $2,600 a week, you're not going to get that at a mega carrier unless you're doing specialized freight, unless you're doing something specific that you all already know about, food service, you're touching the freight, you're doing hazmat. This is just regular drop and hook, dry van freight. So it's going to come from a small carrier. It's going to come from a small carrier that wants to pay their drivers really well. Because I promise you, I know exactly how much. Now, he's still making good money, because right now, if I run 6 days a week, my truck is grossing $11,000 a week. $11,000. But you guys know how high fuel is. I'm still making more than he is, but he's still making good money. So anyway, that's the reality of it. If you want one of these high-paying jobs, there's not going to be recruiters. There's not going to be referral bonuses. You're not going to find it on Google. These are jobs where you have to talk to people. That's how I got this job. I got this job by talking to another person who I didn't know, and they filled me in on the details of their job, basically. So anyway, and the ironic part is the guy that I talked to, he let him go because apparently he was bitching all the time, and I took his spot and I'm driving his truck. So it's kind of funny, but in this trucking space, you know, things aren't all, you guys know how it is. You're going to get your hands dirty a little bit. It's business. People are going to get fired, and people are going to screw the boss they're working for to go get more money somewhere else. It's just the reality of it. And that's what you all need to know. You're probably not going to find this amazing, great paying job where you're home every day just getting on Google or Craigslist. But it can work out by job hopping. I'm not completely against job hopping, because when you job hop, it puts you around other people, other possibilities, other opportunities, and you're going to learn and find out the best jobs by talking to other people, right? But the thing is if you guys ask me where I work, there's no point in me telling you, because A, we're not hiring, B, I don't get a referral, which that doesn't matter to me anyway, but most importantly, you're probably not in my area anyway, and you need to be, unless you're willing to relocate. So keep that in mind too. If you want to be local, if you want a great paying job, get around where you live and go out to these warehouses and talk to people. You can't be afraid to talk to people. Got to go find the truck drivers and say, hey man, do you know anybody that's hiring? Do you know, and talk. The more you talk to people, the more you're going to hear about some good jobs that come up. But it does you no good to talk to somebody on the other side of the country about getting a local job, okay? Anyway, that's it for now. I got to go home, eat some dinner. Y'all take it easy.